Hi guys, this is Dean from Pervasives, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Economist magazine and why I would recommend it to subscribe to. First of all, the Economist is not cheap. It's every week you get a magazine, not every day. So it better be good for the price you pay. Now, what I like about it is the structure. The structure is very good. The structure drives the agenda, not the opinions of the editors. Of course, it's kind of a left-leaning magazine, like all the others. But the structure is pretty good because it drives the agenda. So, I've gone a bit too fast here, but as you can see, it's broken down to the world this week, leaders, letters, briefings, special report, ESG investing, Asia, China, United States, the Americas, Middle East and Africa. Then we have Europe, Britain, international business, finance and economics, and then culture and some indicators at the end. Now the page we have here is the world this week with politics. So we have a couple of things happening in politics during that specific week. We had Super Mario resigning. We have Russia, Ukraine, Brazil, India, and then we have the world this week for business, which is more about companies. Now I want you to pay attention to the article at the bottom right, which is called Progress and Poverty. I actually read this one carefully because it was actually very good. It's talking about the situation in emerging markets is not the same as the crisis in 97. They explain really well that they're not as fragile as they used to be, and they're more internally developed, so the situation is different. For example, such as the debt that they have. So, just to give you an idea that it's actually quite good. Some articles are pretty good actually. Now, next we have a quick introduction to the situation in Turkey with inflation. They will go deeper on this in 2 pages later. But basically, the main idea is that actually, I'll talk about it after, because now we're at the letters page, which are letters sent by readers, and they usually ask a question or shed some light on a particular area, or they're from that local region, so they can give more insight. So we have a guy from Ireland, we have a guy from Mexico City. Okay, now we're back to the main article in the briefing section on Turkey. So basically, what I like about this is that they do a lot of research and they go back to explain what happened before. It's not like a normal newspaper where, like the Financial Times, where they just give you the news of the day and you have to be aware of what happened before. What they do is that they bring you back to what happened previously. Now we are starting to go into the continents section now. We are in Asia. So this is what I was talking about when I was saying the structure of the magazine drives the agenda, which is great because they have to cover each continent. They have to talk about each continent. So obviously Southeast Asia, we have inflation, we have the tragedy of the assassination of the Japanese former prime minister. Now we're in the China category. They have a good article about the differences or the dislocation happening in the market because of the clash between local and state level businesses. Pretty interesting. Now we're in the United States section, which I didn't really read that much because you can get that anywhere else pretty much. I believe the most value is in the other regions for this magazine. Now, after the United States, you will have the section called Americas, with the Americas, which is for middle South America, and the other countries. So it's pretty good that they cover this. Like, you have Mexico here, and they talk about Brazil as well. Um, it's good because usually magazines don't really cover the other countries. Now we're in Middle East and Africa. We have a big article about Egypt. Egypt, one of the fastest growing countries in Africa. We also have a section on Tunisia here with the president changing his constitution. A quick article on Africa and the rise in venture capital deals. As you can also see, there's lots of little charts, which is great to give you a quick peek on the economic charts. So this issue magazine is the main article is about ESG, and they have a long article here about different perspectives. So you see the little red boxes, asset manager. So the perspective of all the different stakeholders is covered here on this topic of ESG. So we had asset managers, now we have investors, then it's companies, then it's rating agencies. So they really go deep in detail. And as you can see from this magazine, you mostly have big chunks of text, right? So it's not your normal entertainment magazine. Last stakeholder group, the regulators. So very interesting article. I quite enjoyed myself. Now we have the Europe section. So we have Super Mario here resigning from the position of Prime Minister of Italy. We also have another section. Well, obviously they talk about Ukraine, Belarus, NATO, Russia, Greece, and then we have Germany here. A quick article on Germany and the energy situation over there. And then we have a section for Britain. Now, Britain is separate because The Economist is started in the UK. It's based in the UK. So you will also notice when you read the magazine, they will use British words, not American words, which could be an appeal. So we have a big section on Britain, and then it starts to get more about the cultural stuff, sports. Then we have a business section. This article is quite good, actually. This was about bonds around the world and companies. Very interesting. And yes, by the end of the magazine, I don't really read that part because it's all the culture stuff, and I'm not really interested, but there are many interesting topics to read through. Then we have the finance and economics section. This article is about the crisis in emerging countries, the inflation, the debt that they have in foreign currencies. This is for me, actually. I really enjoy. I really buy the magazines for these sections, which are very well researched, very well written, and as I said, they go back at the start, go back to stuff like we're going back to 2006 to explain what happened then, so you can understand what's happening now. So very good work, and that is why you pay a pretty penny. It's only one magazine per week, but as you can see, it's very dense. It's very well written, very well researched, and you have the whole world covered. As I said, that's how they structured their the structure of the magazine is driven by covering every part of the world, and not, the agenda is not driven by the opinions of the editors. So as I said, the end bit there, it's kind of like cultural stuff, and I usually skip it. And then at the end you have a table of economic and financial indicators. Now for sure you can find all this online now, but it's good to have a quick look and see a quick objective table of numbers. So I actually quite like it. I think you should get it. I mean, it's all relative to what else is out there. You have the FT, which is good. Bloomberg magazine, they make a magazine on the Weekender, it's called. But to be honest, I prefer The Economist. It's much better. It's better written. It's more thought out. So yeah, all in all, I think it's a pretty good read. and the paper format, not having to read all these articles online, it's a very different experience, the way you consume a paper magazine. Thank you for listening, guys, and I'll see you next time.